Call, hosted by myself, Tony, and Peter. Hosted every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Today we have Joe Munizaga. He's going to do a nice little presentation for us, and then we're going to break off into some Q&A. So with that, guys, I give you Mr. Joe.
Awesome. Tony, thanks for your time. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, everybody, for being on the call, for everybody all over the U.S. and again, and all over the world. Number one, your time is the most valuable piece of currency. So I want to respect your time. So I want to give you some key pointers here, and then I want to break up to some, definitely get some Q&A. I know you guys have some questions for me as well. So real simple, from theory to action. That's the name of the talk. So I wanted to make sure, because we have a lot of information out there, ladies and gentlemen, and you have to make sure that you're taking that information. What are you doing with that? So I want to show you a couple of things that I've learned that have allowed me to really see some massive results, not only just in my personal life, but my business life, my financial, my career, and able to skyrocket just everything I'm doing. So let's go ahead and get into it. So what you need to take massive action. Now, these are 3 simple steps I'm going to teach you guys today that starting today, you can start turning theory into action. It's 3 A's. I want you to write this down: attitude, approach, and activity. That's what it's going to come down to: attitude, approach, and activity. These are the 3 simple steps that you can start taking today, immediately, and you can start seeing results. Now, one of the things, if you ever read the 10X rule, on page 40, if you go to page 40, is to get, Grant says, to get where you want to go in life, you must adopt the view that whatever is going on in your world, good, bad, or nothing, is something that is caused by you. So I need you guys to really understand, wherever you want to go, if I can do any sale today, I need to sell you on this right here. You need to adopt this view that whatever is going on in your life right now in your world, good, bad, or nothing, it's something that's caused by you. Now, again, we need to start with attitude. Everything starts and ends with attitude. You know, Jim Rohn, one of the greats, always said, if you will change, everything will change for you. Don't wait for things to change. Change doesn't start out there. Change starts from within. All change starts within you. So it's important that anytime you need to look at yourself, everything starts and ends with you. So you have to start with your attitude first. Now, how do you change your attitude? Right? Because you're like, okay, great, Joe, my attitude, that's great. How do I change it? Well, it's very simple. I'm going to give you 6 easy action steps that you can take so that you can be in control of your attitude, starting today. 6 steps. Number 1, you need to beat the sun up every single day. You need to beat the sun up every single day. This is so important. This is something, and I'm going to tell you guys, the things that I'm teaching you today are the things that I've been doing. These are the things that I do every single day. You need to beat the sun up. That's step number 1. What does that mean for you? It could be 4 a.m. It could be 5 a.m. It could be 6, depending on what part of the world you are. You just got to beat up the sun. If you can beat the sun up every single day, just imagine you've already had victory in your life. You've already started. You beat this planet ball full of energy, and you beat it up. That's a good way to start with a win. Number 2, write down your goals every single day. So important. You see this? I use this. Maybe you don't have a 10X planner, right? I use the 10X planner. I've been using these my whole life, right? Ever since I met Grant. Get a notepad, right? Maybe you need to get one of these, right? A notepad. Maybe you need to get a legal pad, right? Get a legal pad, whatever you need to get. Just make sure you're writing your goals down every single day. And I'm going to show you a trick. Write them down in the morning and write them down at night. So in the morning when you wake up, first thing, and right before you go to bed. Now, I'm not going to get into how to write your goals. I can do that in another session, but it's so important. Just start writing down your goals in the morning and at night. Number three, you need to exercise. You need to exercise. You need to control your energy unit, your body. Your body is a unit of energy. You need to exercise every single day. Now, rule of thumb that I give my clients is I find out what they're doing, and a rule of thumb is simple. Hey, just run for 2 miles every single day. You don't need to join a gym. You don't need to hire a trainer. You could. It'll accelerate your results. But if you want to walk outside, if you want to do 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, 25 body squats, that's fine. You just need to move your body. You want to join a gym, figure it out what it is, but you need to exercise every single day, specifically in the morning. So you beat the sun up, you write down your goals, and you go work out. Number four, you need to have a battle plan for the day. You need to make sure that you have a battle plan. It's so important, meaning you need to have targets for the day. What are you going to accomplish? Listen, right now we live in this world of working from home. A lot of you guys have never worked from home. I'm one of them. I was an office guy. Working at home is very different. You need to have a battle plan because before you know it, the day will pass you. I work with a team of about 35 people in Colombia and Mexico. And the biggest challenge we have with new people, new salespeople coming into that organization is we need to make sure that they have a battle plan because they're not used to working from home. And again, we have targets for them. If they're not organized and they don't know exactly what they need to do, they don't have a battle plan, their day's going to get lost. You're going to get lost doing things that are not going to produce. Number five, you got to eat the right foods. You got to eat the right, read this right here. Food is fuel. Okay. Understand that when it's time to eat, you need to say, hey, I'm going to go fuel. And I'm going to show you a little hack real quick. Easy question to ask yourself. What am I doing the next 3 hours? Based on that answer, you can fuel yourself. So like if I'm going to sit in front of a computer, if I'm going to make phone calls, I don't want to eat something that's going to weigh me down, that's going to get me tired and lethargic, that my body's going to take a lot to process. So there's ways to do that. And there's little hacks that I can teach you to make sure that you're eating the right things. The easiest one is, hey, what are you doing for the next 2 to 3 hours? Eat accordingly. Number 6, this is probably the most important. Control the time you go to bed. If you want to beat the sun up, you need to control the time you go to bed. You know, I'm up at 5 o'clock every single morning, 5:30. If I'm up at 5:30, guess what? Listen, yeah, you can sleep 4 hours. Try to do that for the next 2 years, see what happens. I've done that. I did that. It's not healthy. Okay. I get 8 hours of sleep every single night. I still find and I produce throughout the day. So if I'm going to get up at 5, I got to be in bed by 9. If I'm going to get up at 6, I'm going to be in bed by 10. Okay. But again, I always want to make sure that I'm beating the sun up. So this right here is probably the hardest discipline out of all of them, because you need to control what time you go to bed. So I told you the 6 steps. So that's with action. Now let's talk about activity, approach. The next one, the approach, right? So you have your attitude, you've taken care of yourself, you took the 6 steps. Now you got to talk about an approach. Let's talk about approach. Simple. The first one is, hey, how do you sound on the phone during an interaction with your prospects? Like, are you recording? Are you videoing? Right? Are you doing what the pros do? Right? All the pros, what they do, they watch game film. Do you know how you sound on the phone? Do you know how you sound on a Zoom call if you're doing a demo? Do you know how you sound in person? Do you have somebody watching and videotaping you? It's so important. Are you, when you're interacting with something, are you speaking to them on purpose, off of your purpose, or are you speaking to somebody for profit? They'll know immediately. We can work on that. We can help you with that. Next thing with approach, again, record, right? Record the interactions. Very important. Go back and listen to them. Very, very important for you to do this. You need to do this yourself. It's probably, for me, one of the hardest things that I ever had to do was to record myself and listen to myself. it's going to be the hardest thing you ever have to do. Some of you guys, it's going to be easy. Some of you guys will be easy. For me, it was very difficult because I just didn't like hearing myself. I didn't like how I sounded. I didn't like I figured I could just keep going, right? So that's so important. Feedback is so important. You need good feedback, but you need also constructive feedback. And how are you going to do that? We're going to help you with that. This is a good way right here. Are you warming up every single day by role playing before you have your first interaction with any client, whether it's in person, if you can, whether it's on a Zoom, whether it's over the phone? Are you working out your pitch? You know, or do you sound like you have peanut butter in your mouth? And do you sound like you have a bunch of marbles in your mouth? Like you just can't, your words aren't coming out. When they tell you I'm not interested, you're like, you don't know what to say. You need to warm up. Every professional warms up. So important. Watch any professional, any sports, theater, you name it, they warm up before. So important. Do you have scripts in place? You want to have a good approach? You need to have the right script. There's ways to win a cold call and there's ways to lose a cold call. If you're losing more than you're winning, you got to ask yourself, do I have the right scripts in place? Have I had somebody look at them? Who built them for me? Or did I just get them from somebody that's been in the industry for 30 years and they say, use these scripts because these are the ones that work for me. And the guy still sells the same amount he sells 15 years ago. If he's been in the business that long and he's not getting better, then there's something wrong. Things got to change. Listen, the marketplace changes. So you got to ask yourself, do you have the right scripts in place? And of course, one of my favorites, practice, drill, and rehearse every single day. You need to do this every single day. I know that we have role play sessions on Fridays. So there's an opportunity to come in here and role play. If you don't have a role play, a partner, then you need to record yourself. There's ways to do it. There's little tricks that I can teach you that if you don't have someone physically that you can call, that there's ways that you can actually do it. Practice, drill, and rehearse your scripts. And I'm talking about demo scripts, talking about cold call scripts, follow-up scripts, closing scripts, negotiation scripts. You need to have a playbook for everything. Not just one, not just the front end cold call. Everything has to have a script. So, and you need to have it with you so that if you're in the negotiations, you need to have your negotiation script out because you're going to forget. So we covered attitude. We covered approach. Now let's go into activity. So you have the right attitude. You got your scripts in line. You're role playing every single day, but you're not getting it. Okay. Great. Let's talk about activity. This is where most people fail right here. They have the first two, Joe, I have a great attitude, I have a great script, but I'm missing something. Write this down. It's an underestimation of effort. You underestimate the amount of effort it takes to hit your target. And because you've had success in the past, doesn't mean that it's going to be the same in the future. When the economy turns, when the world turns, when this pandemic hit, nobody knew. Nobody had a playbook for this for 2020. How many people here raise your hand if you said 2020 was going to be your year, but you knew for sure, like you knew you had everything in place and you knew 2020, I'm going to have my best year ever. Listen, that was me. I'm going to have my best year ever. I'm going to hit targets that I've never hit before. I'm going to hit income levels I never hit before. I'm going to travel to places I've never been before. And guess what? After February, I get back from Growth Conference and it seems like the world just put a pause. And now what? Right? Nobody plans for this. Nobody planned for it. So now the effort that it takes to hit your target, your activity level, understand, needs to raise. And this is how you're going to do it. Solution, very simple. Have a predictable process. Now I got some notes here I want to talk about because there's a predictable process here that's very important. I didn't put it in there, but this is important here for your predictable process. Number one, marketing. Very important. Marketing. You need to have a predictable process for marketing. We're talking funnels, landing pages, paid ads, etc. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, good. We'll help you. If you have an idea what I'm talking about, you never done it, guess what? You don't have time to learn. You need to go find the experts to do it. Okay? You need to take time out of the equation. Because it's going to take you 4 years to learn how to copyright, 3.5 years to learn how to do funnels, and if you're lucky, 6 to 12 months to learn how to use paid ads, and that's just Facebook. And then everything changes. So you need to have a good marketing predictable process. Number 2, you need to have a sales process. Okay? If I told you right now to write down your sales process and you had 30 seconds, how many could do it? You know your sales process by heart. If you don't, there's a problem. I could teach you that. You have to have a very predictable sales process, because without those 2 things, you can't do number 3, which is scaling. You can't scale. You can't take yourself. Remember, underestimation of effort. You need to buy time and leverage time. You need to scale. How do you scale? Having a predictable process in marketing, having a predictable process in sales, and then you're able to scale your business. So important. So Peter Drucker said it best, right? What gets measured gets improved. You need to do the math. What kind of math? How much money do I want to make in 2021? Forget 2021. How much money do I want to make in the next 7 weeks? Do the math. How much time do I have? Because we might not get a chance in 2021, right? We need to think now. We have 7 weeks left. How long is my sales cycle? What's the math on that? Right? How much money do I want to make next year? You need to do the math on that. Right now, you need to think about the next 7 weeks. I'm going to tell you, 99% of the people on this planet, they forgot about 2020. They forgot about 2020 in February. You need to start thinking now. Like, you need to take advantage. You know, Dan Pena says the biggest transformation of wealth is happening right now underneath our nose. And if you guys don't take advantage of it, listen, there's enough for everybody on this call and everybody that didn't make this call and everyone that's going to watch the call afterwards in the recording to get yours. You just got to know that, but you got to do the math. What's available? What's the market? How much money is in the marketplace? There's no shortage. So do the math on what's out there. Do the math on how much you want to make next year. How many months? Divide that by weeks. Divide that by days. What do you need to make per day? What do you need to sell per hour? You need to break it down to a predictable process. Math is great because math and numbers don't lie, and they give you certainty. Then you need to do the math on your calls. If you're making outbound calls, how many calls do I need to make? If you're doing funnels, what's the conversion rate? If you're doing paid ads, what does it cost to get a lead? You need to have multiple landing pages. You need to have multiple offers. I mean, I can go on and on, but you need to understand, you need to do the math. It's so important. Have a system in place where everything gets tracked. Everything gets tracked. Sales calls, call calculations, what your people do, how many appointments do they make? How many appointments do you make if you're a solopreneur? What does it cost? You need to have a system in place, and I can help you with the system. Very simple. I can help you with it. And that's scalable. Now, how are you going to know it's working? 2 things are going to happen. Either your sales are going to go up or your sales are going to go down. You'll know your activity is going to go up or your activity is going to go down. Your attitude is going to go up or your attitude is going to go down. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to sales, when it comes to doing the calculations, the marketplace will tell you. They're the report card. If you're getting the results you want and your graph's going up, then you're doing the right things. You just got to do more of it. If your graphs are going down, you got to ask yourself, is it my attitude? Is it my approach? Or is it my activity levels? It's always one of those 3. So for me, it's a simple and effective recipe for success. Attitude plus approach plus activity equals massive results. Very, very simple.